Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Music Mondays. I'm your host, Zom Slays, and I hope you're all well. Welcome to 2023. This is our first episode of the new year, and a whole lot is going down, a whole lot's changed, and it's been a while since we've had some time to sit down and talk about Music Mondays, about 2023, about what's going down. So, with that said, let's jump right in to some updates. What's going down with Music Mondays? What's going down in the last week or so? Well, last week was the final episode of the Music Mondays podcast of 2022. We had a wonderful episode. It was the inaugural edition of the end of the year Music Mondays Awards. So that was really special for sure. That was a really cool way to not only cap the year off, but really start something fresh for Music Mondays in the underground. So yeah, the Music Mondays Awards, man. Huge shout out to Michael and Ivica for hosting as well. Huge shout out to everybody that won last week, and huge shout out to everybody that was just showing love, man. That's gonna be something that we do every year. So like I said, don't fret if you didn't win or felt like things could have been changed around a little bit, because we're gonna improve it every year. So huge shout out to everybody that supported the Music Mondays Awards, man. That was definitely well done. So with that said, episode 101, or the Music Mondays Awards, whichever you want to call it. Technically it would be episode 101, but it's Music Mondays Awards 2022. That is available on all audio platforms, wherever you listen to podcasts, wherever you listen to music and things like that. You can go listen, or you can go check out the full episode on our YouTube channel, on the official Music Mondays YouTube channel, that is. So definitely go show some love on there. Go show some love to everybody that won an award. Go show some love to the Music Mondays staff, and that's definitely one for the ages. So definitely go check out the end of the year awards. So let's talk content. So over the last week following the Music Mondays Awards, we had New Year's and we had Christmas, and of course I hope everybody had a wonderful set of holidays. I hope everybody that does celebrate something had a good time. I hope you're able to spend it with friends and family and things like that. But yeah, like I said, last week was the Music Mondays Awards, so I didn't really get a chance to fully sit down and talk about the holidays and New Year's and shit like that. So that's what we'll do here for a moment, and then we'll hop right into reactions and reviews per usual. So yeah, like I said, I hope you guys all had a really good set of holidays. I hope everybody was chill. Hope everybody had a good New Year's. And it's officially 2023. But let's talk about content post Music Mondays Awards and things that you might have missed on Music Mondays. So, Spiritual Corrosion is a Music Mondays exclusive single that we hosted and dropped last week following the Music Mondays Awards. I believe we dropped it on Wednesday, so huge shout out to Sketchy Face and Paris White. They let us host their track Spiritual Corrosion, and it's live right now on the official Music Mondays SoundCloud. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, that'll be available in the description as well. So yeah, go show some love to that, and definitely go check it out if you haven't heard it. Music Mondays is going to be looking to host a lot more tracks in 2023. So if that's something you're interested in setting up with us, you have an exclusive unreleased track that you're like, oh shit, I want Music Mondays to host this. If you're looking for a home for a new track, feel free to send us an email, a DM, send myself a DM or email, and we'll be sure to have a conversation with you. The Breakdown, episode 2, by Music Mondays all-star staff member Ivica Glass, is available on the Music Mondays YouTube channel as well. Ivica sat down with Mount Oriander. They both had a wonderful conversation about Mount Oriander's new project, recent world events, life stuff. And if you don't know what the breakdown is a segment that we host on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, hosted by Ivica Glass, where Ivica sits down with artists one-on-one and they have a conversation in basically podcast format, but Ivica really puts their own spin on it and really just brings in sort of a different vibe when it comes to a one-on-one conversation. So the breakdown really goes into a bit more broader detail, if you will. So definitely go check out the breakdown episode 2 and episode 1, of course, if you haven't seen episode 1. Huge shout out to Place for Owls. But yeah, lots of new stuff on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. So go show some love to the channel, man. I believe I think we're like 6 away from 90 subscribers. So that would be very, very wonderful of all you guys to go show some love to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are 83, so 7 away from 90 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to Music Mondays YouTube channel, go show the channel some love, man. We upload 2 times a week, exclusive segments, snippets, the breakdown, feature Friday, workshop Wednesday, full podcast episodes. I've been doing some maintenance and cleaning up of the Music Mondays YouTube channel, so definitely go subscribe and definitely go check out the channel because there's a lot of stuff on there. A lot. So, let's talk articles. If you haven't been on musicmondays.com recently, what the fuck have you been doing? But if you have, you've noticed that we dropped 2 brand new articles. One article by staff Music Mondays writer Ray Lowe. Ray decided to write a year in review on 2022, highlighting some content throughout 2022 that really stuck with them, things that Ray thought that should be noticed and talked about, mostly underground artists, and really was just a great perspective on 2022 from Ray's point of view, to be honest with you. So definitely go check that out, and huge shout out to Ray Lowe, because Ray's been killing it with every single piece that they've been putting out as of lately. So huge shout out to Ray Lowe, man. So for our second article, the top 10 albums of 2022 by Music Mondays curator Waterfalls is live right now on the Music Mondays homepage at allmusicmondays.com. Now, this isn't like a Music Mondays like reflective list. This is, of course, a Waterfalls kind of preference list, right? Because everybody's, top 10 of anything is going to be different. So this was Water's take on their top 10 favorites of 2022. So definitely go check that out, because that one's filled with some gems as well, from some mainstream acts to some very much indie underground artists. That was definitely a piece that I was really excited for Water to upload, just because Water is more so on the curator side of the staff team. So when Water was like, yeah, sure, I'll write this in an article format, etc., 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 I was super hyped to upload it. So definitely go check out those 2 brand new pieces on allmusicmondays.com. Huge shout out to Ray and Waterfalls. In case you missed it, monthly is the other thing that I neglected to talk about last week because, well, it was the Music Mondays Awards. I mean, we were pretty much all hands on deck with that, so I didn't really get a chance to give any updates. But in case you missed it, monthly, in case you missed it, it's fucking live on allmusicmondays.com as well. This one was curated by Ray Lowe and Ivica. This was a sort of half and half sort of edition of In Case You Missed It Monthly. So the October and November 2022 editions are live right now. Compiling, a list of 10 to 12 artists that really dropped pieces of content throughout each month that totally deserve to have some spotlight. So like I said, the October edition is live, the November edition is now live, and the December edition will be coming out this month. So if you're wondering who killed it last month in December, as we're sitting here in early January, be on the lookout for that. And huge shout out to Ivica and Ray Lowe. So Man, we absolutely destroyed everything in the last week. Like, to be honest with you, like the last week of the show and just Music Mondays as a whole has been really fucking busy and really crazy. So I just want to take a moment to shout out everybody that has been showing love to the show, man. It's been stellar. It's been really fucking great. Um, you know, not even just the show, just Music Mondays in general, right? Because what we're doing is something that, you know, is very different from what you see your typical platforms do, and it's something that I've always done, and it's the reason why I'm still kicking doing what I'm doing. So huge shout out to everybody that sees the vision, whether you're new or old and you've been supporting Music Mondays for a while, or you're just hopping on board. Welcome. um, we're going to be cranking out events this year. We're going to be cranking out content, um, informative, supportive content, giving a lot more space to the community as well. And of course, with our continued monthly and weekly pieces of content, SoundCloud Sunday, the Music Mondays podcast, weekly articles every Friday, pretty much unlimited uploads on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. We're going to be hosting a lot more songs. Cyberfest 2 is coming this year. We're just going to be really doubling up everything in 2023, and expect a revamp as well. Every so often I want to keep updating the Music Mondays aesthetics to keep us fresh, and always put a fresh coat of paint on, if you will, you know what I'm saying? So expect that as well. But this first month of January is going to be really filled with just or really, tying up any loose ends from 2022, bringing in a couple new staff members, and really priming ourselves for the rest of 2023. Because we're going to be working very hard this year, so I'm not looking to, dive in 12 hours a day super fast, because there's a couple of things that I wanted to get ready for Music Mondays for 2023 that really deserve, more time than you'd assume they'd take. You know what I mean? Like, we really need to take our time with some of this shit. So I hope you guys are excited, and I hope you guys are ready. So yeah. So this is our first regular show back, man. Episode 102. So like I said, we are officially in season 3 of the Music Mondays podcast. I still haven't decided if we're gonna keep seasons at 50 episodes or 25. I think we'll keep them at 25, just purely based, or I think we'll keep them at 50, just purely based on the fact that we've already been doing 50. So I think episodes 100 through 150 will be season 3. And it's not like we take the season kind of gimmick super serious. So yeah, that's the plan with that. And of course, definitely expect some revamps with the stream as well. Some good refreshes here, whether it be a new layout, and of course, Facecam is already on the way. That's something that I've been working on. And then realistically, that's only a matter of actually pulling the trigger on buying a camera, and then we'll be good to go to pretty much give you guys a more refreshed look for 2023. And then of course, as we go on, we'll continue to update everything, So one thing that I did want to touch on before we got into our regular scheduled content is giving some condolences to Gangsta Boo and their surrounding supporters and family members. Because for those of you who don't know, Gangsta Boo was a female artist that not only broke a lot of branches in mainstream and more well-known parts of hip-hop, but Gangsta Boo was very, very supportive of the underground scene, from all angles, whether it be working with newer artists, finding other established popular underground artists and working with them, Um, she was one of those people that really was not afraid to put on for other people, despite being a legendary 3-6 Mafia member. So it's like, it's really tippable. You know what I mean? I think some of my earliest exposures to the underground were groups like Raider Clan and, of course, Sesh and things like that. So that was like a huge hit underground wise. So definitely rest in peace. That was definitely wild to see. Definitely wild to see, and not the way that you'd want to start off the new year. But one thing I will say is that's like a big reason why a lot of us continue to go really hard, is because this shit can just stop any day. Um, it can really just suddenly be over for anything. You know what I mean? Not even just death, just a lot of stuff. So that's why you got to be grateful. Take this shit every day with your head up, man, because that shit is really crazy. Um, some of us are just so numb to it at this point where it's like sad almost, but at the same time, it's something that you got to keep close to you, because when you're down and out and you have your bad days and you like have your shitty days, you would get reminded that there are people that didn't get to keep going, and that had plans for the next day, and the people that had dreams and goals and accomplishments and shit that they just didn't fucking do. um for me personally, despite everything else that motivates me, I think that's like a big motivating factor for me as well. um it's just that there's just not people kicking it anymore that had plans. So every time that there's a passing in the underground, or even in more mainstream art, it'll always hit me in a different way, right? The longer you're around this space, the more you'll see it, and it's definitely something that is, it's got to be acknowledged. So that's why I do say that. But RIP. I definitely want to spend a moment and talk about that for sure. So, with that said, let's move on to a bit lighter of a topic. Reactions and reviews. So obviously last week was the Music Mondays Awards. So we had no reactions or reviews last week, so it was like, holy shit, what the fuck? Well, here we are. We doubled up. So essentially these submissions sat for about 2 weeks, but it's not because we didn't do a show. It was, like I said, because we were doing the award show. So everybody had some extra time to really get that shit popping. And taking a look through now, we definitely have we definitely have some really really good submissions, and some really good first time submissions. Well, ones that look really good anyway. But with that said, let's move into some motherfucking reviews. Now, before we break this down, this will be the first time I'm saying this in 2023, so I can imagine I'll probably always be saying this either way. But for those of you who don't know, this is how you submit to the Music Mondays podcast, and you're like, holy shit, Music Mondays, how do I get on the show? Da 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 da. This is how you get on the show. Now, every week the show will be live on a Monday. We will always be live on a Monday. It's very rarely that I won't do the show and do it on another day, unless it's like another segment. This podcast, the regular Music Mondays podcast, will always be on a Monday, and submissions will always open the following day, which is a Tuesday, and then submissions open for about a week or so, and they close the Monday of, so about like 6.5 days or so, and then we wrap back around for another show. But like I said, it'll always be in the same format. Obviously, we'll revamp our logos from time to time, but it'll always be in this format. Artists and creatives submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on 1/2/23 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/ZomPlays. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So, like I said, same format every week. So if you're like, shit, how do I find this? Where do I look? Da 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 da. You can always look for the most recent one of these. Pretty self-explanatory, but just as a heads up, just look for these. And of course, contrary to our name, we not only react to um, underground music, underground instrumentals, but we also and have reacted to underground artwork, fashion, merchandise, digital creations, graphic art, music videos, writing, poetry, you name it, we have reacted to it here on the show. Um, long story short, just because so many underground artists are so multi-talented that a lot of people have so many parts of them that really deserve a lot of love. And if you're a creator that feels like you have some work that deserves to be spotlighted, whether it be music, vocals, cover art, digital art, graphic design, um, you sell merchandise, you're a fashion creator, like literally anything, feel free to drop it down below, man. And of course, the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter before you submit. Now, Music Mondays has not, will not, and won't ever charge artists for our small form content, right? We don't charge for articles, playlists, podcast submissions, reviews, interviews. We don't charge for any of that shit. We never have, we never will. Um, just purely based off the fact that Music Mondays is a bigger platform. And we want artists to understand that if they get put on here, they deserve to be on here, right? So that's just not an avenue that I've ever took personally since my 5 years in the underground. So that'll never be a thing here at Music Mondays. So in exchange, the only thing that we do ask of you is that you're following the platform before you submit, and then you're good to go. And of course, if you'd like to support the platform further, we always have our sub goal here on Twitch. We are currently 7 out of 10 for the month. And then that also supports not only Music Mondays, but it supports the Music Mondays offices as well. Things like face cams, upgrading the stream, all that sort of stuff. And then you can also donate on the Spotify section of our podcast. There's a little donation button where you can do like $1 a month, or you can do you can pledge like $5 or $10. I think it's like 3 options. You can do like $1 a month, $5 a month, or $10 a month, just as like a support for the show and for a future podcast. So there's that as well. But other than that, you won't see us really doing anything like that to bring in revenue from artists, unless we're holding like an event, like a show or things like that, merchandise. But other than that, yeah, all of our regular pieces of content are free. So that's the only thing that we do ask, is that you're just following us on Twitter to not only help grow our platform, but to help grow your platform as well, right? Everybody networks, everybody really meets new mutuals through Music Mondays, and on top of it, it pays respect to the people that do submit every week and do wait every week. You know what I mean? Because there are some people that submit instantly and they're like, "Oh shit, I already got that in. Let's go." And if somebody comes in that doesn't follow the page, never heard of Music Mondays, they're just dropping links, it's not cool of me to just go, pick anything out of a hat. And when we have um, supporting artists that have waited all week, you know what I mean? So that's the only reason why we do that. Because like I said, it helps grow the platform, but helps grow your platform as well. So that's the only thing that we do ask, is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter. Other than that, submissions close the day of, a couple hours before, whether it be the morning of Monday, whether it be um later in the show. Doesn't really um have like a set time, but they'll always close before the show. So make sure you get your submissions in, my friends. Make sure you get your submissions in. But with that said, we definitely have quite the lineup tonight. Um, a couple of first time submitting artists. We have some very, very familiar faces. I believe a couple of people sent in some late submissions. And then, yeah, so we can dive right in. Let's go. So, obviously, we have um, our react and review format. So we'll go through all types of audio first, and then we'll check out all the visuals and other forms of media, whether it be graphic arts, things like that. So audio first, and then media afterwards. So, Re-Rock Raps is our first submission, and this is a first time submitting artist. So, we're kicking off with a first time submitting artist on episode 102. This will be very, very interesting. Don't know what to expect. We'll see. We'll see. Let's pop this open in a new tab and let's see what they submitted. Now, Re-Rock submitted Belly. Prod Re-Rock. Okay, okay. And we have a little collab here. 13 days ago. So, literally brand new. Second installment of the critically acclaimed I Don't Remember Re-Rock collaboration. Okay, okay, okay. Let's get into it. First time submitting artist, Re-Rock, Belly.
Fuck them hoe ass roads.
I don't remember.
Bitch.
What the fuck is that?
Re-Rock.
It ain't nothing you can tell me. Ride around the city like DMX and Belly. I'm feeling like a demon when I'm off the codeine and perkies. I promise it ain't worth it to try me. This shit can get heavy. Closing the curtains behind me, it's over, it's ended. He drop a low, we go send it. He think he gonna come through and bend through the block. Try pull up on us, man, he should've known better. This shit no surrender, that shit go for anyone. Block on my hip, ain't no doubt that it sent me to. I was down on my dick, had to go out and get it up. Know how it is, and they know how it really was. Talking all crazy, you gonna come and kill me, huh? Rap about my life, but fuck if you feel it, bro. Everything I got on my own, and I swear up to God that shit still ain't here enough. Say it again, cause I don't think they hear it. It was rainy for a bit till the sky started clearing up. Hella high water, I'ma always prosper. At the end of the day, we gon' find out who really up. Find out who really got what. Find out who really got jugs. Find out who really got bucks. I've been trying to go and find me some work, so I'm trying to find out who really got plugs. They can keep trying all that they want, but when it comes to it, they really not us. I'm really not the one you should trust, cause I go out and do you greasy for the fun. Yeah, you better run if you see me run up. Stay in the crib and don't leave it for none. If you pop out outside, we leaving you slump. We ain't letting shit go, now we keeping it up. Yeah, I'm with that smoke, so I keep that shit tough. You can get smoked if you think this shit sweet. Yeah, I do collections every other week, so do not be late and just keep it discreet. Yeah, I'm with the beef, I like the guns. I run them down, Balenci's on my feet. Yeah, they ask for my ticket, wanna know my fee. I hope they know it ain't cheap. I hope they know at the end of the day that it is what it is, gonna be what it be. Yeah, I hope they know at the end of the day that I got it by myself. This shit wasn't free, this shit wasn't easy, but I went out and did what I needed. I see it, I take it, I need it, cause he ain't got no iron, he a need me. Yeah, it ain't nothing you can tell me. Ride around the city like DMX and Belly. I'm feeling like a demon when I'm off the codeine and perkies. I promise it ain't worth it to try me. This shit can get heavy. Closing the curtains behind me, it's over, it's ended. He drop a low, we go send it. If he think he gonna come through and bend through the block, try pull up on us, man, he should've known better.
Wow. What a fucking first impression. That was a really, really fucking good first impression. And this art goes really well. Like, especially like hearing it now. I didn't really have much thoughts on it because obviously no background, first time submitting artist, so didn't want to assume too hard on the art, but the art's fucking great. Has like this grimy, rusty feel to it. Very solid. So let's break this first time submission down. Let's talk about three things here. Talk about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals. We're talking about the overall theme of Belly. So we definitely have a very much dark trap, kind of alternative trap vibe going on here. Very much a collab instrumental. I've always said this about instrumentals like this, like you can just tell, like, yeah, like maybe you could cook up something like this like by yourself, but it's so unique, like you can just tell that it's a collab instrumental. I feel like beats like this really only come from two people working on an instrumental. Coming from somebody who's done enough collab instrumentals and listened to enough collab instrumentals, the one thing that they all have in common is they're all very organic. You know what I mean? Like it's all super fucking organic. And this is no different for me. So I think the instrumental is really, really well done. Simple, very effective. I like the drum choices. Everything's mixed, nothing clashing to overbearing. Very solid, very, very solid. So the instrumental, very well done. I think it's a really good collab. especially for a first time submission. So it's definitely impressive. Now let's talk about vocals. Like I said, first time submission. So again, very impressive, right? Everything from mix to flow, very crisp, very crisp. I mean, clocking in at 217, Re-Rock really did not waste a second in this whole track. In which, you don't need to like fill every second in a song. That's not what I'm saying, but Re-Rock really just kind of came in and was like, okay, like I'm just gonna fucking destroy this. But like there's like swag and like flow to it. It's very much so like a it's one of those like in your face tracks, but it's very much like super skillful as well. So when it comes to this, I'd say the shining star for me has got to be the writing. The punchlines are really simple but like super effective. Um, just the subtle things really make the difference in this song, and I think the delivery with all these lyrics are really like another big thing here. So, yeah, lyrics and delivery are definitely a shining star when it comes to vocals for me. For sure. For sure. Now, let's talk about the theme here. Like I said, aesthetic wise, I didn't really have much thoughts on the cover yet, just because we didn't have a reference for the sound, right? So now that we've heard the track, I feel like this is fucking perfect. I love like the rust kind of color, like especially with like the color palette. Like it's like an orange, but it's more so like a rust color. Um, I love like the collab effort on it too. It's not just like a solo artist on the cover. Um, it's perfect, and it kind of matches the vibe too. Like it's very dark, grimy, very much nighttime kind of vibe. So, shout out this artist whoever did that did a really really good job. Um, Now let's talk about the overall theme. Now this is definitely one of those tracks where you take like a really kind of simple sort of phrase, line, lyric, you know, down on my belly, down on the dirt, down on your back. Like there's so many different kind of word plays here that I feel like Re-Rock just took to their advantage and just fucking took to the moon. And again, like this is like songwriting 101. Like if you can just take like a simple concept and really write like a whole song about it and make it super personal, um, I feel like your ceiling is so much higher and you can like really go for like gold when it comes to songwriting like each time you write a new track. So I love that about this simple kind of topic but really expanded upon, right? And like I said, that's like songwriting 101. So um well done. Really impressive for a first time submitting artist. So huge shout out to Re-Rock. Thank you for the submission, homie. Much motherfucking love. Make sure you follow Re-Rock on SoundCloud. Re-Rock is literally 8 away from 470. It's a great milestone. And of course, follow Re-Rock Raps on Twitter. Re-Rock is 3 away from 480. So 480, 470. Go show Re-Rock some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We upload 2 times a week. Exclusive segments, full podcast episodes, exclusive tracks, tips and tricks. We got a whole lot of stuff going down on the channel, man. So if you already have, thank you, and huge shout out to you. And if you haven't, what are you doing? Make sure you go show some love. So, up next, this would be the homie Offspring Mysterious, but Offspring definitely comes through with a visual for us. So we'll wrap back around to that. We'll go through our audio first, and then we'll be good to go. Up next, we have Anusha. It's a bit old, but I did the production by myself. I believe this is the first time submitting artist. I recognize Anusha's name, but I feel like this is either first time submission or hasn't submitted in like a long time. So this is kind of interesting. Very, very interesting. They submitted Loser official remix. Let's check this out. So we'll go in as if they've never submitted anything before, because I believe it is the first time submitting. Remix, reimagined version of Anusha's single Loser, taking a more intimate approach while still being sarcastic. The guitars and harmonies add more sugar to a spicy song about recognizing the red flags in a situationship. Okay. I love the theme behind it. I love that there is like a kind of short synopsis, right? Um, Great cover, minimalistic, appealing to the eye. Definitely don't know what we're about to get into. Clocking in at 3:37. So let's get into this. Anusha Loser official remix.
I could tell you how I felt, but it wouldn't matter. I'll just be the scapegoat for your mistakes. Sometimes I look back, it only makes me sadder. Because you didn't care how you left my heart to ache. Well, I should be mad 'cause you left me behind and you watched me cry about 1,000 times. Well, I guess I'm the loser, so it's better that I leave it alone. Well, I should be mad 'cause you left me behind and you watched me cry about 1,000 times. Well, I guess I'm the loser, so it's better that I leave it alone. Did my name in your mouth just make it turn sour? Or did you need my lips to help you release? Deep down I knew that it was all about her. Well, it was comforting for my fantasies to believe that you would even think of me. Well, I should be mad 'cause you left me behind and you watched me cry about 1,000 times. Well, I guess I'm the loser, so it's better that I leave it alone. Well, I should be mad 'cause you left me behind and you watched me cry about 1,000 times. Well, I guess I'm the loser, so it's better that I leave it alone. Left me behind, I died 1,000 times. The morning light reminds me of your touch, but like a punch in the gut, I remember it wasn't love. Well, I should be mad 'cause you left me behind and you watched me cry about 1,000 times. Well, I guess I'm the loser, so it's better that I leave it alone. Well, I should be mad 'cause you left me behind and you watched me cry about 1,000 times. Well, I guess I'm the loser, so it's better that I leave it alone.
Well done. A bit old, but I did the production by myself. That is fire. That is really fire. The guitars and harmonies add more sugar to a spicy song. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I think the harmonies are a big, big part of this. Not only just because it sounds really good to the ear, but I feel like it definitely adds some emotion. So let's break this down. We're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, and we're talk about the overall theme of Loser. So instrumentally, this is self-produced, and for what it is, being such a simple track, I love the layout of this. Like, I really, really love the layout, especially when it comes to production. The mix is solid. Um, Definitely does the job when it comes to like keeping that acoustic feel, but it's still a bit wide. It kind of has like a bit of range of emotion. So the mix is definitely solid. Production is definitely um something that is a really big part of this track. Just because, even like the simplistic drums that are just kind of coming in about halfway through, um, really bring like the story together for this song. So I do feel like the production on this plays like a big part, and I do enjoy it 100%. Um, always a sucker for sort of like the acoustic kind of vibe anyway, but production solid for sure. Now let's talk about vocals here. Now one thing is this mix is super raw, but at the same time, it kind of like keeps the emotion in. This is obviously not a song you'd really want to mix your vocals like crazy on, just because of the meaning for one, and for two, like it kind of keeps like the rawness of it and like the emotion and like really like helps you understand where a vocalist is coming from sometimes when it comes to tracks like this. So I feel like sometimes the more raw the better. Which I think was a more positive thing here in this track. Um, but safe to say, my shining star is easily the harmonies, without a doubt. The harmonies are like wowie wow wow wow. Like the description was a really good backstory as well. Just because they were notable, right? Like the harmonies were just like something that really made this track, especially when it comes to like like understanding the hook, like listening to the lyrics. Like the harmonies just give it that extra push. So I feel like that was a great addition. Um, you know, the artistic vision here um could be a couple of directions, right? It you know, you could go with like a different mix, or you could go with like a little bit more different production. But I feel like that's what makes this track special is it's very much personal. And I think Anusha really nailed that on the head when it comes to making something that's like very original and personal, and like putting it together in a way that a first time listener could really come through and understand. So vocals, chef's kiss, well done. Um, let's talk about the theme here. Now, aesthetically, super simplistic cover, but something that's pleasing to the eye. You can remember it like very easy, but it has that like b- just like a slight little like pop swag to it. You know what I mean? Kind of reminds me of like a pop cover with like the fonts and everything, but it kind of like keeps it simple, so you don't really know. You know what I mean? Like it's not like completely like, oh yeah, that's a pop song. You know what I mean? And if you notice the tags as well, country, indie pop, indie, and then hashtag pop. So I would agree with all those. You know what I mean? Like even like the country bit of influence that's in there, with the melodies and the production, like definitely gives you like a little bit of a country vibe. So I feel like aesthetically this cover was like super on point, and it was a really good choice. Now the overall theme, inherently obvious, right? Recognizing the red flags in a situationship. And once you have that sort of context, like so many lyrics kind of make sense. And sometimes artists like to leave that open to interpretation. Some artists like to give you a little bit of like a backstory. Um, to which in this case we had a little bit of like sort of like a little bit of a backstory, like, oh, like this is about X, Y, or Z. So now like a lot of the lyrics and punchlines and writing here, is just easily understood. And I feel like this is another topic when it comes to like emotional music that like so many people can relate to and understand. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like super like it's like such a great thing for artists to really like um make emotional kind of music if they want to make emotional personal types of music, because 9 times out of 10 like listeners are going to go through that same type of situation, and that's what makes people relate to you. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is exactly like that. It was like, okay, like people are relating to you, and that's like the best thing you could ever ask for. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes from like a genuine aspect. So huge shout out to Anusha. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you follow Anusha on SoundCloud. Anusha is 3 away from 30. That is a great milestone. And of course, make sure you follow Anusha on Twitter. They are literally 50 away from 2.2K. Go show Anusha some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 90 subscribers on the main channel, so go show some love on the channel if you haven't already, man. We upload 2 times a week. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, music tips and tricks, exclusive tracks. A whole lot of good stuff on the channel, man. So go check out the channel if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you. I appreciate you. We got to push to that 90 sub goal there. So I believe Thomas submitted a bit late. Yeah, let's see. About 7 hours ago. Yeah, so anyone like anyone post 7 hours ago probably just nailed the cutoff, and Thomas was one of them. So if we have some time, we'll wrap back around to Thomas. But just as a friendly reminder, submissions were open for 2 weeks this week. So if you're interested in getting on the show, whether it be any day of the week, especially if you're watching the show on YouTube, submissions are already always open. The only time that they'll be closed is literally on Monday, a couple hours before the show. So that means you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to go submit your tracks before submissions close. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of that. Was I first? I have no idea. They always get reordered anyway. Like if I refresh this page right now, it's gonna be a new order. But what's good, Avica? I hope you're well. But yes. So with that said, tomorrow submissions will be open. So keep that in mind. You're like, oh shit, I gotta go submit for the show. Do that. And of course, Music Mondays always makes an effort to remind you that submissions are open. So make sure you follow us on socials at All Music Mondays so you can be updated on the latest submission information. Howdy. Let's fucking get it, baby. So Thomas was late, and we'll wrap back around if we have time. But up next, we got the homie, Matt Rocks. Matt, I always have a decent amount of things to say about Matt, truly. Matt is one hell of a fucking artist. Especially lately, Matt has been kicking up the grind. Whether it be YouTube uploads, fucking unreleased tracks. Like, we've seen Matt go absolutely crazy this last, couple months. So I'm definitely excited to see what Matt has in store for us this week. He submitted a track titled Superstar. And exclusive unreleased Matt Rocks. So, yup. You already know the deal. All of it done by me. All of it. So the fucking extra all of it gets me. So yeah, you guys already know the drill. Exclusive unreleased Matt Rocks. Superstar. So cover, mix, beat, vocals, all Matt Rocks. Let's dive in. Oh shit. Damn. Jesus.
Freak out, send your location right now. I'm out of bounds, baby, no, I understand. Baby, can you stay a while? In my head, you watch you smile. Pick you up when you feel down. Baby, just hold on. Don't let go. Yeah, baby, I like you. Yeah, baby, I saw. Used to stay down where we are. Baby, fell in love with a superstar. I can't believe it. I'm too far from home.
This is crazy.
I don't believe it. All the things you said on the phone. I don't like right now. We move on forward. I wanna be alive now. I've got things to look for.
This is that shit right here.
And so do you. Just hold me close and don't let go.
I have a lot to say about this. A great outro too. Alright, look. You already know what I'm about to say about this shit. Like, this is like really on a fucking new level. But there's something deeper that I want to talk about with pop here. And before we break this down and we talk about our usual suspects, the instrumental, the vocals, and the theme, this is like the direction that I personally always thought that like underground pop should have went in. Like before hyperpop. And now that's not to say like hyperpop isn't like a massively successful kind of niche genre and things like that. What I'm saying is there was a lot of really great innovators. You know, your Acapos, your Hinonis, your just so many people out of Seattle that were creating like this really different kind of pop sound and really opened the door for a lot of people to go do like the crazy different experimental pop shit. And I feel like for a while people that were doing this kind of pop got, you know, swept under the radar, and it makes me so happy that people are like finally starting to take note of this style of pop again, because it's always fucking been here. So like huge shout out to everybody that has really been like curating this kind of, you know, alternative kind of pop, you know what I mean? It's very much different, and it has a great feel to it. It's refreshing. And it doesn't even have to be like retro or anything like that, but I feel like it like this was the direction that I always saw it going in. And regardless of whether it did go in this direction, I think the people that made this kind of alternative kind of organic pop deserve so much recognition. So I love this track for that already. But with that said, you guys know the drill. Let's break this down. We're talking about three things. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Superstar. So, instrumental, I mean, really the foundation of what I just described, right? None of that kind of alternative pop sound would really be achieved without a solid instrumental foundation. And I do feel like Matt absolutely nailed it. When it came to like keeping that old kind of pop vibe that made you want to like dance, you know, keeping up with the synths and shit. But there was still like the newer elements of it where the structure kind of had breakdowns and like the drum selection was a bit more modern. Like it's the small things that really make this super original and really just kind of make it just refreshing, for the lack of a better term. You know what I mean? It's just new. And not like nobody's ever done a style like this, but what I'm saying is it's new in the aspect that it's like this is like such a good direction for this sound, and it really all starts with the instrumental. The instrumental's well done. Mix is great, nothing clashing too overbearing. Also, no surprise there. Matt's notorious for a solid mix. Let's talk about vocals. Now, when we want to talk about vocals here, Matt has really done an excellent job of like narrowing down like their specific sound that they like. Now, not necessarily like a specific kind of mix per song, right? Like you could just have a mixing preset that you'd slap on like every song. But sometimes songs deserve like a little bit of like a slightly different mix. And I feel like Matt has figured out how to work that around as to where like, okay, I'm making X, Y, or Z type song, so I need X, Y, or Z type of mix, but it's like the same. It's just basically like another preset almost. You know what I mean? You're just like, okay, like I'll do them this way, and I feel like that takes a while to master. You know what I mean? Like the more you create, the way easier that type of shit will be to master. So I feel like Matt did a really good job with that as well. But I mean, flow and cadence here is obviously the fucking star of the show. Like especially like in between the breakdowns and the structure, like it's not even a question. Flow and cadence, 100% shining star here. Vocals are just wow. The hook is definitely a close second for me as well. The hook is really well done. You know, writing kind of no surprise, right? Really fucking excellent writing, but it's backed up by this delivery and cadence that's just like there you go. You know what I mean? It just brings it all together and wraps in a nice tight little bow for sure. Let's talk about the theme. Aesthetically, as seen on TV, I mean, the cover's fucking gas. Kind of like a signature Matt Rocks cover, you know what I mean? Almost like Matt has always taken this kind of either like cartoony, collagey approach, or it's like super simple and aesthetic. And this is kind of a mix of both, right? But you kind of have the slightly brighter colors and like I don't know, like this is just a very much like Matt Rocks cover, like without a doubt. Matt has a very signature style when it comes to cover art for sure. And this is right up that alley, like without a doubt. So let's talk about the overall theme here. Now, when it comes to Superstar and really like kind of bringing that like pop feel to this track, but more so like it's it's really Matt on some like superstar shit. It really is because like the vocals are so wide, everything's so emotional. It just makes you get up and want to fucking dance type shit. Like for sure, it's like that. So I definitely get like the whole superstar kind of like theme because again, like this is like a subject where you take like a simple ass theme and you just break it down and you make a whole story out of it. And again, I feel like Matt is just getting to the point with their writing where it's just inherently obvious Matt can go above and beyond and write about almost anything. You know what I mean? Like literally almost anything. So very, very fucking tippable. Um, you know, it's only a matter of time till one of these songs, you know, just kind of smashes a million. You know what I mean? Like it's only a matter of time for sure. So you fucking heard it here first on Music Mondays, my friends. Matt Rocks, keep your eyes open. And with that said, huge love to Matt Rocks for the submission, homie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure you follow Matt on SoundCloud. Matt is literally like 16 away from 1.8K. Go show Matt some love, man. And of course, make sure you follow Matt Rocks at Rockstar on Twitter. Matt is one away from 10. Go get Matt to 10 followers, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 90 subscribers. So go sub the channel if you haven't already, man. We upload 2 times a week. Exclusive segments, full podcast episodes. A whole lot of good shit is on there, man. Like shit from music tips and tricks. Just a lot of great highlights. So go check out the channel if you haven't already. And for those of you that have, thank you. I appreciate it. So, wow. So Re-Rock absolutely killed it. Offspring will wrap back around. Anusha absolutely killed it. Love the acoustics. Thomas was late. We'll wrap back around if we have some time. Matt absolutely fucking killed it. Exclusive unreleased Matt Rocks. And up next, we got the homie Blank Thought. And Blank Thought is also a first-time submitting artist. Self-taught music producer, broad credits, Emilio Miles, Backwood Brad. Okay. We got some credits in there. I love a producer who's really fucking proud of their credits and shit like that. So I'm down. I'm down for the cause. I'm down for that cause.
Having ideas.
So let's see here. This is a whole album, yeah? Okay, single, 5 songs. Okay. So I would assume, okay, so Johnny Farias and Blank Thought. So this is like some collab shit. Okay. Interesting. So this is a first time submitting artist, by the way. So we don't know what to expect here. Ivika said in the chat, headphones won't work. I gotta bounce lots of love. No worries, my friend. No worries at all. We'll talk later. So, back into Blank Thought. 11 minutes, 13 seconds. So, kind of like a collab EP here. 5 tracks, 1 with a bonus track. So, we'll just hop in. Of course, anytime anybody submits an album, per usual, we don't have the time to listen to a whole project and give a constructive reaction and review to it. But we always will judge the first track and give our thoughts here. Well, so... Seasonal Affective Disorder. SAD is the acronym there. Johnny Farias, Blank Thought, 2022. First track, Reset. Hope for a New Day. Let's check this out.
And scrawling them into a journal or into my notes on my phone. Sometimes I think it's useful to do songwriting as an exercise, like without a goal in mind, you know? Like, you just set off walking with no destination.
No sound when I enter the space. Roam round the city decays. Tore down what was built in a day, in a year, in a generation, in an age. South Ferry putting ink to the page. The only thing I sensed that I felt, it was pain. Blunt knives in the wake of a different domain. Sky yellowish gray, floor still wet from the rain. Graduation day that can't tell me nothing. Every other day they can't tell he bluffing. Hell recover, hell we covered. Everywhere I look they trying to sell me something. Publicity stunting so their sales don't plummet. Knock the wind out of mine. Chickens be clucking, they come home to roost. I'm considering running till my sneakers are scuffed and I'm sick to my stomach. If I didn't have music, it'd be a blur. Wish that I could reimburse all the fees incurred. Lied at the end, hard to peep at first, but I saw it was afoot, tried to breach the birth. Were you on the front lines when the beaches burned? Hard to be candid with you when it seems rehearsed. Tough times couldn't reach me if you need a verse. Couldn't find the words, had to really search. Zip lips, sink ships, why keep it terse? What you doing if you spring a leak and your secrets learned? Self-saboteur, I could be the little bird. Can't stop hearing chirps, so the sleep is curbed. I sagged like a dream deferred. Crows circling the block, I was feeling cursed. Scarlet on my neck, not a trauma, you can see it works. All this pressure on me, trying not to pinch a nerve. Monkey on my back like sciatica throbbing. Chasing waterfalls, making the Niagara stop. On the road that I'm on, can't abandon the call. Law of averages, am I surpassing the bar? Am I lacking the heart? Jack of trades trying to master them all. Could the dealer tell me if that's in the cards? On the road that I'm on, can't abandon the call. But I'm always pulled back to the start.
Holy shit. Okay, very, very impressive for a first time submitting artist, man. I love this. I love this. It definitely is a great first track to drag you into listening to this whole project, for sure. And that's like the most important thing. Like, absolutely the most important thing. I'll always forever say that is your first track, whether it is an intro track. I don't care what it is. It doesn't even have to be like a fucking vocal track. Your first track on every fucking single album needs to be the hook, line, and sinker. Otherwise, you're not bringing people to that second track, bro. Like, and we'll talk about that here sometime soon on the next show. Because, sidebar, before we get into this whole breakdown, I always see people, talking about, should I release an album? Should I do this shit? Yes, motherfucker, drop the album, but you got to do it right. You know what I mean? Um, and like I said, it doesn't matter what your first track is. It could be a banger. It could be an intro that people want to listen to. It could be a sample from an audio quote. It could be whatever, but it's got to be good. It's got to be something that makes people get ready. And a reset here on seasonal affective disorder definitely hit that nail on the head for me. So I definitely just wanted to say that and talk about that for a second. But like I said, Blank Thought, first time submitting artist, and this is a producer submitting a collab EP that they had recently worked on here. So, let's break this down. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Reset. So, Johnny Farias obviously is another artist that we have zero experience with, but since Blake Thought is the submitting artist here, we'll shift our focus more in that direction. But talk about the instrumental here. The vocal sample was so fucking well utilized, like really, really well utilized. You could argue that it's definitely a star of the instrumental is the vocal sample. Very much well used for sure. Now, when you want to talk about drums, very simple, but the sound selection was everything here. Very much cloud-like, nothing too clashing, overbearing. The mix was very, very solid. And definitely gave Johnny like a really good canvas to just spit some of like just the realest opening kind of lines that you'd ever want to hear on like a first time new album from somebody you've never heard of, right? It doesn't need to be like the greatest lines of all time, but like if you're a listener and you're going into an album or a project and that first track like that's kind of like what you want to hear. And I think Blank Thought absolutely had the really, really good canvas for Johnny for sure. And, it definitely goes hand in hand with the cover and even like the EP kind of overall's theme, you know? So instrumental, very, very solid, a nice chill start to a project for sure. Now let's talk about vocals here. Johnny has very, very solid vocals. Like really, really fucking solid vocals. Such a like pleasure to listen to on the ear, but at the same time, you can take it very serious, right? But it's not like it's something to do with the delivery about it. And the mix is very solid too, but the delivery about it is serious, but it's like very chill at the same time. It has like this really great balance to it. And then on top of it, the writing is just like bar for bar, back to back to back, and you know, from a wide range of subjects. And clocking in at 204, I feel like Johnny definitely did this instrumental justice. You know what I mean? Really came in and just ate this one up, but in such like a laid back fashion where you'd be inclined to continue to listen to the project, right? Because you'd be like, holy shit. You know what I mean? So you're like, damn, I gotta hear the next track. So well done. Well done. But yeah, Shining Star for me has got to be the delivery for sure. Instrumental insane, Shining Star there is, like I said, definitely the vocal sample for sure. Delivery and cadence here for the vocals. And let's talk about the theme. Now, this cover has like this like a watercolor almost color selection here. I feel like the palette's really good. It's not like too much blue as to where it's like overwhelmingly sad. Like you have a little bit of like real dark blues in there, a little bit of red, a little bit of white, and the birds are really well done. Whoever did that cover did a really good job. Really, really good job. And then the overall title of the project, right? Seasonal affective disorder, the acronym, SAD. So it's like, okay. And it's not like overwhelmingly sad if you just go into Reset and you listen to one song and you're like, oh shit. You know what I mean? It's not like there's a couple of different ranges of emotion, and I feel like this is a really a really great middle ground, you know what I mean, for getting your emotions out, but not making it too emotional, like right off the rip, right? Because you could, put your more emotional songs in the back, sort of in the middle. But for right off rip, I feel like Reset was like the perfect kind of tone setter, if you will. Absolutely, without a doubt. And just for the overall theme, like, I do like their freestyle approach, but it's definitely more well constructed than, just like a fucking freestyle. So I love this kind of style from Johnny and Blank. I definitely would recommend going to listen to this full project if you're interested, for sure. But with that said, huge shout out to Blank Thought. Thank you so much for the submission, homie. Much motherfucking love. Make sure you go follow Blank Thought on Spotify. And of course, make sure you follow Blank Thought on Twitter at Blank Thought. Blank Thought is literally one follower away from 530. Go show Blank Thought some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And we are approaching 90 subscribers. So go sub the channel if you haven't already, man. We upload 2 times a week. Whole lot of good stuff. Go show the channel some love, man. Go show the channel some love. And if you have, thank you. We appreciate it here at the Music Mondays headquarters. Holy shit, chat. Let's go, man. We are back. Music Mondays is back. Episode 102 is well underway, ladies and gentlemen. How the fuck are we doing tonight on this Monday night, man? 2023. It's January. We're killing it, man. Fucking killing it. So, let me just sip this coffee here. I believe Bloodcat, aka Circus Saturn, is up next, but Bloodcat was slightly late. So let's wrap back around to that if we do have some time with Thomas. I believe those are the only 2 late submissions. So up next, we got the homie, and of course, Residential Music Mondays All-Star, Ivica Glass, who was just recently in chat. Huge shout out to Ivica. Ivica's submission, Out of My Head. This track is older than Music Mondays, Proud Me, Vox by Me. Holy shit, we got some throwback Ivica, eh? Okay. Ivica does extremely well as an experimental artist and just as an artist in general. From their wide range of just pushing the boundaries of graphic design, vocals, instrumentals, Ivica has a really special style, and it's definitely one to pay attention to, especially if you're into just more the alternative sides of things. But this will be interesting. Ivica said this track's older than Music Mondays. Out of My Head, Unvaulted Ivory Tower, Ivica Glass, and of course we have the signature Ivica artwork. Damn, that is gas. That hits right there. That definitely hits. Okay, let's check this out. Our last submission from Ivica, which was vocals as well, Ivica did a fucking excellent job. I really enjoyed Ivica's vocals a lot. So let's see what some throwback Ivica was like 11 months ago. So, not brand new, not too old either. Let's check this out. Ivica Glass, Out of My Head. Beat already bangs, what the fuck? Wait, these vocals are sick as fuck. What? Damn. Can you fucking imagine a performance of that live? That mosh pit would be nuts. This would be fire though, like live. Like I really like this kind of style from Africa. A bit like grimy, but like stays on like the alternative side, like as well. Wow. Okay. Well done. Let's break this one down. So we're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Out of My Head. So, instrumentally, Prod Ivica, well fucking done. It keeps like the alternative vibe, but it's more so alternative cloud as well. I enjoy the drum selection a lot. I feel like the drums are a big star here when it comes to the instrumental. It's well mixed. Nothing's clashing, too overbearing. Relatively like bare bones alternative cloud style instrumental, but really does the job when it comes to being attractive to the ear for sure. So instrumental is really well done. Now let's talk about vocals here. I love this style. It brings like such a different side of Ivica because we had like it wasn't like an emotional kind of track in our last submission from Ivica, but it was more so like on the emotional storytelling side, right? Not so much emotional delivery. And nonetheless still emotional. And Out of My Head more so brings that aggressive yet still emotional kind of grungier almost punk side of Ivica, but keeps it cloud, keeps it original. I love that about this. I really love that about this. And being 11 months ago, I mean, shit. Like, Ivica's done nothing but fucking progress. Like, I need more of this. This is fucking well done. Super original, and it definitely, like, I don't know, it just makes you want to discover more of it. You know what I mean? And I think that's like one of the greatest elements of any type of underground music is you just want more. You know what I mean? You want to go discover more. You want to do this. You want to do that. And I feel like this is like such a gem in like Ivica's library for sure. The vocals are really well done. Let's talk about the theme here. Now, aesthetically, very much of the Ivica's graphic style for sure. Well done here. I like the color palette as well. I like the choice of purple. Just has the experimental kind of abstract style of Ivica that we all know them for. So you gotta love that. Out of My Head, On Vaulted Ivory Tower. The overall theme, you know, again, Ivica touches on some more emotional topics, but kind of delivers it in a more semi-aggressive, more grungier, grimier kind of way, but still, like I said, keeps to that cloud root. And I think I really like that. Like, I think that's such a unique style. And I would love to see this expanded upon. Whether it be in a more emotional setting again, or whether it be on some, you know, simple shit. Regardless, I feel like Ivica does a really good job. Like when it comes to songwriting and really being able to like deliver a story and their own experiences to any new or old listener. And this is definitely another one of those tracks for me. So, with that said, huge shout out to Ivica. Thank you so much for the submission. And of course, make sure you follow Ivica Glass on SoundCloud. Ivica is 9 away from 130. Go show Ivica some love, man. God damn it. Go show Ivica some love on Twitter as well. Ivica is 8 away from 760. A great milestone as well. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, go subscribe if you haven't already. We are approaching 90 subscribers on the Music Mondays main channel. And if you already have, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Music Mondays headquarters appreciates it. We upload 2 times a week as well. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, exclusive tracks, a whole lot of good stuff going down on the channel, man. So go show the channel some love. So Re-Rock, you went absolutely crazy. Offspring, we're about to wrap back around to. Anusha, well done. Thomas was a little bit late. Matt Rocks, very well done. Blank Thought. Ivica, well done. Bloodcap's a bit late as well. The Metro Cartel. The Metro Cartel does not follow Music Mondays on Twitter. Unfortunately, that is the only prerequisite and the only thing to make you eligible here on the show. Like I say at the beginning of the show, and before we go into reactions, the only thing that we do ask is that you are following the Music Mondays podcast on Twitter. That is the only thing. Make sure you follow the Music Mondays homepage on Twitter to not only help grow the platform and help us find more artists, but at the same time, it pays respect to every other artist that waits every week to get their song played and reacted to and reviewed as well. So, yes, feel free to resubmit, and we'll be happy to play your track on stream. So, moving on. Black and White motion picture. I believe this is a first-time submitting artist as well. World's okayest rock band. Black and White motion picture. Now, they submitted a track titled Strange, rock band out of Denver, Colorado. Okay. Interesting. Open link in the new tab. Let's check it out. October of last year, so not old at all. Black and White motion picture. I feel like that's such an interesting band name for sure. I think it's a great band name, actually. The one comment. It's so amazing that I'm going insane. Alright, so let's check this out. First time submission, Black and White motion picture. Strange.
Is it the pain or the poison that I love so much? Strange, I grow hungry without your touch. It's too late, I've gone too far this time. Strange, still got you on my mind. Bringing me back just to let me down. You're pushing me underground. Bringing me back just
Wow. Okay. This is an interesting one. Definitely a fucking interesting one, my friends. For sure. We got Bromo in the chat. Welcome, Bromo. I hope you're well, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, first time submitting artists, black and white motion picture. Let's break this one down. We're gonna talk about three things. We're talking about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals. And we're talking about the overall theme of Strange. So this is definitely way on the spectrum of some alternative rock, like the purest form of it, if you will. Um, and wow, did the instrumental fucking nail it. It's definitely a tie between some very much kickback, laid back kind of alternative rock, but definitely kicks up like halfway through and definitely gets you moving for sure. So I do like the structure. I would say the structure is a shining star here, 100%. A very progressive instrumental. Mix is solid too, nothing clashing too overbearing, especially with a full blown kind of fleshed out instrumental. The mix is solid for sure. So instrumental, excellent. I like the structure a lot. That's a big one here. Let's talk about vocals. Vocals are they have this kind of like very much like hypnotic kind of voice as to where you hear it and you're instantly intrigued. You're intrigued in the story, you're intrigued in the lyrics, you're ready for this kind of vocal experience to expand, right? And I do feel like this vocalist really fucking killed it. Um it's definitely one of those tracks that's very much on like the darker tone of things when it comes to not only writing but delivery as well. Which kind of brings it more in that like alternative rock kind of space. But for an indie band, I feel like that's perfect. You know what I mean? I feel like this is like right where they want to be, really crafting like some really like original, like different experimental alternative shit. And I do feel like the vocalist had a very big part in that for sure. So vocals are really well done and also kind of match the instrumental in the aspect of, you know, we have a lot of progression throughout the instrumental, but as well as with the vocals, right? It's very much in the roller coaster fashion that we often talk about here. So instrumental, well done. Vocals, very much well done. Let's talk about the overall theme. Aesthetically, I love the minimalistic approach. Again, you know, minimalistic covers are always a favorite of mine because you can do them really well without like um without having to like go crazy on resources unless like the vision calls for it, because you always want to show your designers some love. But you know, huge shout out to the, you know, every designer out there. But of course, sometimes you're in a crunch, you know, sometimes you have a different vision, you want like a more simplistic kind of cover. This is the direction that you want to take, you know what I mean? Black and white motion picture, you have the track title Strange, super simplistic and really well done, to be honest with you. So the overall theme of Strange is really just a well written story almost. Could be an extension of, you know, everyone's writing in this band. Whether it be two people or multiple people. Let's see if we can find out actually. World's okayest rock band. I am kind of curious if they have like about the band. Yeah. Here we go. We got Josh, failed childhood actor. What the fuck? They got Josh, Corey, Tony, Gus, Bart, Jules. Okay. Website's really well done. Black and white motion pictures, slow burn to build, but explosive rock band. The Denver-based group holds true to its roots in classic rock, blues, funk to create emotional rock. Can't look away experience. Yeah, that's kind of can't look away. Yeah. Exactly. Like the vocals in Strange definitely gave me that kind of feeling. Ranging from serious to slapstick, black and white motion pictures, looking back, moving forward, never taking life too seriously. Okay, so we have multiple members here. Yeah, so back to my original point, I do feel like this track was written, I could be wrong. This could be a totally solo written track, going out on a limb here. But I feel like this was written by multiple people because it's such a great story and it's so well structured. And using this kind of cover definitely adds to like the strange factor to it, but keeps it basic. So I do like the theme here a lot. I'd like to hear more from them, 100%. So well done. Huge shout out to Black and White Motion Picture for the submission. Much motherfucking love. And of course, make sure you follow Black and White Motion Picture on SoundCloud. They are 2 away from 10 followers. Go show them some love, man. They are uploaded on SoundCloud. Go show them some love. God damn it. Of course, make sure you follow Black and White Motion Picture on Twitter. They are 2 away from 250 followers. Go show them some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 90 subscribers on the main channel. So go show some love to the main channel if you haven't already. We upload 2 times a week. Whole lot of good stuff. Like I said, exclusive segments, whole podcasts, exclusive tracks, music tips and tricks. Literally everything's on the channel. So go show the channel some love. And if you have been showing the channel some love, I see you. I see you dropping likes. I see you dropping comments. Thank you, and I appreciate you. So, I believe we are just about halfway through the show. So what we will do is we'll leave off on TDG. TDG is up next. We'll take a short 60-second break. And make sure you get up, go stretch, go get a drink of water, go do what you need to do, go back up for a smoke break, go do whatever it is that you gotta do. Huge shout out to anybody that's tuning in, submitting, anything like that. I appreciate you. And huge shout out to Bromo, Ivica, anybody else that's lurking and chilling. Thank you. So, we're gonna take a quick 60-second break. We'll be right back with your episode 102 reactions and reviews. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Music Mondays podcast. Hope you're well. Hope you're chilling. You know, I was going to take a leak, and I realized eventually we'll be the longest running underground podcast very soon. But at the same time, we are the longest music podcast around, to be honest with you. You know, we're pushing like 2 to 3 hours like every week, so huge shout out to anybody that does come through, listen to the show, play the show, show the show some love. We appreciate it, man. So, hopping right back in, like I said, we left off with a black and white motion picture. Well fucking done. And up next, we got the homie TDG. Now, TDG is an artist that has one hell of an experimental hip hop kind of style, but a lot of like classical hip hop roots, mixed with some more modern sounds as well. So I'm very excited for this one. Losing Ground, produced and performed by me. Thanks. On my way up with Step Backs. Let's fucking get it, baby. Let's check this out. TDG, Losing Ground. The Grave presents Losing Ground. Okay. 6 months ago, so definitely not old. Not super new. One step up, one step back. Let's get it. TDG, Losing Ground.
McLean, come back.
On my way up with some setbacks. On my way up, please step back. On my way up with some setbacks. On my way up with some setbacks. Step back, standing close to where the edge at. Walking lines can't accept that. So I'm breaking break, climbing out from underneath. Masked up, I'm faking me. Most of me, you don't see, only I can see. Paranoid, I can't breathe. Deep and so deep, sleeping, don't dream. Never dream. Yeah, seeming hope, believing hope, releasing dope, season foam. If I must confess, I'm pissed off, mad upset. Stuck on my chest, I'm compressed, it's such a mess, so I overstep. No mends, we can't move around it. Wings broke, I'm grounded. Hope thought I found it. Like gone, live without it. Walking in the dark, trying to catch a spark. CPR my heart, hard to start. Blood in the water with some sharks. Hey, all around, fate falling down, gate calling now. Face has a frown. Someone please help me out. Someone please help me out. Yeah, my life in ruins. Didn't even know I knew it. My only chance I blew it. Omens ain't fluent. Just guessing what to do with it. Pain, I ain't new to it. Been through, still going through it. Got reduced movement, puking fluids, overdo it. Trying to forget I'm going through it. Trying to forget I'm going through it. So I overdo it. Alright. Going up the stairs backwards. So much weight my back hurt. Yeah, I got what I asked for. Got questions, need to ask more. What's going up comes back down. I'm blowing up, doing sound. Screaming all day, not allowed. Brain checks is how I'm paying. Missing out at staying. My mind an evil place I stand. The way out is gated. So I'm trying to pick a lock, hear them knock, demons want in. Can you please leave? I don't want you here. On my way up with a step back. On my way up, please step back, step back. On my way up with some setbacks. On my way up, please step back. On my way up with some setbacks. On my way up with some setbacks. Step back, standing close to where the edge at. Walking lines can't accept that.
Okay, this is definitely fucking interesting for sure. So I got some thoughts about this. Let's break this one down. Let's break this one down. We're gonna talk about three things per usual. We're talking about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals. We're talking about the overall theme of Losing Ground. So, another instrumental by TDG. I believe TDG said it was self-produced. Yep, produced and performed by me. So, um, to no surprise, another very well constructed, kind of modernized, classic hip hop, almost boom bap like beat. Except this time instrumentally, it has a bit more bounce to it, and it's slightly darker. Like it has this like darker undertone to it. Um, Mostly due to the melody and some of the sound selection here, but it definitely brings like a darker vibe, but a whole lot of bounce and a whole lot of flow. So I feel like the instrumental is a really great foundation for this. Um, and TDG really followed up nicely when it comes to finding a cadence that was like just super swag for this. Like just very, it definitely makes you like bop your head without a doubt. So the instrumental very well done. Um, Nothing clashing too overbearing, makes it solid like I said. Very much a very TDG style instrumental for sure. Now let's talk about vocals. Vocals, I feel like the mix is really fucking solid. You're pretty much always gonna get that from TDG at this point. Um, we've reviewed and reacted to enough TDG tracks to sort of have the assumption that the majority of their mixes is gonna be fucking solid, right? So vocals solid and crisp, no surprise there. Um, but one shining star about this that I really notice is utilizing how bouncy and like flowy this kind of beat was. And TDG really just ripped it apart. Like, truly found a hook that really worked and just an overall flow. So I feel like that was like a big shining star here. Definitely something to note about this was just the really easy to get behind flow, super catchy. Makes you bop your head. You're like, okay, you know what I mean? So you definitely have that with this track, bar none. And then the close second for me has got to be the wordplay. I feel like it's very well written. Um, Sort of again taking like a simple theme and really expanding upon it in a personal way. You know, sort of like the phrase one step forward, two steps back, but more so playing on a different version of that and sort of really writing bars and lyrics and punchlines around something a little bit different. So it really again is a testament to the songwriting ability, right? Taking just like a simple kind of topic and really expanding upon it. Like I said, in a personal way that you can relate to, but listeners, whether they're new or old, will definitely be able to get behind something like this, for sure. So instrumental, very solid. Vocals, very solid. Flow and cadence is easily something to note here. Definitely a shining star. Let's talk about the theme. Aesthetically, um, TDG has such a unique art style. It's not abstract, it's not obscure, it's not experimental. It's very much TDG. It's so like there are a couple different elements, right? Like from the filters and how things are edited and faded all the way down to like what fonts are chosen. I feel like a TDG cover is very recognizable for sure, and you can always expect some like real original shit. But for this cover in particular, I feel like Losing Ground is definitely like the upside down walking upstairs is like such a fucking deep metaphor there. Um, you know, you could really pick apart that for days. You know what I mean? And like sort of like figure out like the play on words there in relation to the cover, but nonetheless, um definitely fits the vibe and one of those covers that has like a story for sure. So, like I said, Losing Ground, again, one of those tracks that really takes like a simple kind of, topic, phrase, something like that, and where an artist has the ability to really expand upon it, right? And they write a track how they sort of relate to said subject, right? We see it time and time again, whether it be simpler subjects or even more complex subjects. Something like losing ground, or just like losing your balance, or like always trying to get ahead. And like some of those things are just so easy to relate to, but at the same time, it gives the artist a canvas to like get some shit out. You know what I mean? Some thoughts, some lyrics, some more personal, emotional things, but you can just present it in a way that is like super consumable. You know what I mean? So again, losing ground, super obvious theme, but it's one of those themes where you just expand upon it and how you relate to it. So very solid, very very fucking solid. Huge shout out to TDG. Thank you so much for the submission, homie. Much motherfucking love. Make sure you follow TDG on SoundCloud. TDG is 1 away from 130. Go show TDG some love, man. And of course, make sure you follow TDG on Twitter. TDG is 9 away from 160. Go show TDG some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. So make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 90 motherfucking subscribers. So go show the channel some love, man. We upload full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, tips and tricks, exclusive tracks, a whole lot of good stuff's going down on the channel, man. So go show the channel some love. And if you have, I see you. Thank you for showing some love on the channel. Thank you for showing love on the likes, the comments, and everything. We appreciate it here at Music Mondays. We got TDG in the chat. Let me know. No, thank you. No, thank you. Thank you, my friend. Much motherfucking love. Let's get it, baby. So, couple more audio submissions, my friends. Let's break these down. So up next, we have a Music Mondays regular, Mac 2 Times. And Mac has been fucking killing it. From progressing all last year to really just fucking stacking tracks. Like, Mac 2 Times is not only one of the most improved artists that Music Mondays has really seen, but at the same time, I'm excited to see what Mac is leading into 2023 with. So, they submitted a track titled Goner. Pop this open in a new Tabaroni and check this out. Clocking in at 3:30. Kind of a different style, I won't lie. Kind of a different style for Mac. This is interesting. I like it a lot though. But definitely a different style. Very, very simple. And I enjoy it for that. So let's check this out. Mac 2 Times, Goner, 13 days ago.
Ayo, Smokey, we got one.
Wow, this beat.
Sometimes I need to lift the world off my shoulders. I be thinking that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to. How I'm not seeing results, but still feel like I'm getting close. I'm really getting impatient, man. How the fuck I still ain't go? I've been lost in this world, I'm feeling like I need a donor. Lately, life been kicking mine, that's why I am not the enforcer. I've been hurt so much, can't talk to nobody, can't pick the phone up. If this shit don't get no better, no time soon I'll be a goner. I would need help, but don't say shit is easier than it seems. Talking to myself on the real, maybe this ain't a real thing. Been looking for love lately, but the real been on the run. The way I've been around the fake, you would think I was a fiend. Tired of staring at the wrong girls like they from my dream. But when I open my eyes and look at you, every time I blush. My heart playing with me, or is it really in a rush? I'm sensitive when it comes to every single touch. You can blame them for how I act, that's not your fault. My heart's forever crushed. Forever crushed. You can blame them for how I act, that's not your fault. My heart's forever crushed. Yeah. Sensitive to every single touch. Yeah. Is my heart playing with me, or is it really in a Sometimes rush? I need to lift the world off my shoulders. I be thinking that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to. How I'm not seeing results, but still feel like I'm getting close. I'm really getting impatient, man. How the fuck I still ain't go up? Sometimes I need to lift the world off my shoulders. I be thinking that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to. How I'm not seeing results, but still feel like I'm getting close. I'm really getting impatient, man. How the fuck I still ain't go up? Trying to deal with the hurt, but I got yet to find a way. Ain't nobody in my life tell me how to do it, pain. Only thing I ever heard was move on, but how am I supposed to do that if I still got something stuck up in my way? I know this shit come in life, ain't every day gonna be the best, but I'm feeling like I got hit by a train. You ask music is my therapy, I would say I guess so. I ain't gonna lie, that's the only reason why I'm still here for. Year later, almost went down a wrong road. I ain't accomplished shit in life, I got so much more to work on. I got so much more to work on. Loved ones, forgive me for what I almost did. Know this hurt y'all. Yeah, I know this will hurt y'all. Yeah, I know this one gon' hurt. Sometimes I need to lift the world off my shoulders. I be thinking that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to. How I'm not seeing results, but still feel like I'm getting close. I'm really getting impatient, man. How the fuck I still ain't go up? Sometimes I need to lift the world off my shoulders. I be thinking that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to. How I'm not seeing results, but still feel like I'm getting close. I'm really getting impatient, man. How the fuck I still ain't go up? I've been lost in this world, I'm feeling like I need a donor. Lately, life been kicking mine, swear I ain't nothing enforcer. I've been hurt so much, can't talk to nobody, can't pick the phone up. Big this shit don't get no better, no time soon I'll be a goner.
Really good beat choice. Then again, I can't say I'm surprised. Excuse me. So, Mac has really been the king of, really just putting together some, like, emotional fucking tracks, to be honest with you. Like, really, really the king of it. So, now let's break this one down. We're gonna talk about 3 motherfucking things here. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, we're talking about the overall theme of Goner. So, instrumentally, Smokey is definitely not a producer that we've heard Mac work with in the past, but wow. This fucking vocal sample in this instrumental is like, yes, like 10,000% yes. Very, very well used, but at the same time, I'd say, other than that being a shining star, the drum selection was a fucking one. Super simple drums, but well fucking mixed, well structured. Smokey did an excellent job, and I'm glad that Mac really gravitated towards this, because this is definitely like a Mac kind of instrumental, without a doubt. Very emotional, but very hard hitting. So, instrumental, absolutely solid. Let's talk vocals. Now, Mac has just been getting better and better with flows and really just delivery overall. One thing about this too to note is Mac's mixes have been very fucking consistent. Nothing clashing to overbearing, so I do like the vocal mix here a lot. But man, oh man, oh man, there's a couple of shining stars here. I really enjoyed the writing, and the flows and cadence here throughout the whole track, and the hook are like just 3 things that, you know, you really got to note here for sure. But all in all, I'd say the writing on this one is just like really passionate. I wouldn't say it's like super personal or anything like that, but it's definitely like a track where Mac sort of laid it out how it is. You know what I mean? It's just like, yo, this is how I'm feeling right now. X, Y, or Z, you know? So vocals really fucking well done. Very bouncy as well. So, instrumental, extremely solid. Vocals, very solid. Let's talk theme. Now, aesthetically, not your typical Mac 2 times cover that you'd see, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, right? Took more of the simpler approach and definitely matches the overall vibe of the track, you know what I mean? Like, just fuck it kind of energy. So I really definitely like this direction a lot, especially for Mac, right? Definitely more on the emotional side of covers. So really well done. I like the simplistic approach for sure. So the overall theme of Goner, right? I mean, Mac touches on a couple of different topics, but the majority of them being personal. Whether it be you could have been a goner or why you haven't gone up yet. A couple of different plays on words here, but all in all, again, a track that a lot of people can relate to and is really one for the grinders. You know what I mean? One for the people that wear their heart on their sleeve but still grind. You know what I mean? And really still push forward. And that's really a theme that Mac has made prevalent throughout all of their tracks. You know what I mean? The majority of them are very personal and you could really get behind because a lot of people can relate to them. You know what I mean? So this is just another one of those tracks where Mac really lays it all out in a really good fashion. You know what I mean? In a really, really good fashion. So I can't wait to see what Mac's going to come up with in 2023. And huge, huge shout out to Mac 2 times for the submission. Make sure you follow Mac 2 times on SoundCloud. Mac is 6 away from 30. Go show Mac some love, man. God damn it. And of course, make sure you follow Mac 2 times on Twitter. Mac is 6 away from 130. Go show Mac some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 90 motherfucking subscribers. Go show the channel some love, man. We upload 2 times a week, full podcast episodes, music tips and tricks, full segments, exclusive tracks, a whole lot of good stuff is available on the Music Mondays channel. And if you have been showing love, dropping likes, dropping comments, thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, I believe we have 3 audio submissions left and then a couple media submissions. So continuing on, we got the homie Die Guy. Die Guy has been extremely active in the Music Mondays community as well as the Music Mondays Discord. But Die Guy is also an experimental and more so a very much alternative kind of artist. But this week they submitted a track titled Self-Mutilation, an experiment in time signature and drum programming. Appreciate anyone who listens. More on this style coming soon. Okay. Let's pop it open in a new tabaroonie. Let's check it out. So, brand new 2022, Die Guy, Self-Mutilation. Let's get into it. Well fucking done. Definitely have some thoughts on this. Definitely have some thoughts on this. This is super like very much alternative dreamlike, with a bit of like cloud inspiration in here. So let's break this one down. Talk about two things because obviously no vocals. So we're talking about the instrumental and talk about the overall theme of self mutilation. So instrumentally, right off rip, this mix is really fucking well done. All the way down to the drums, and in certain parts of this track, there is a lot going on. So I do feel like this mix is definitely an underrated part of this. This mix is very, very tight, and just really well done. So this, clocking in at 4:15, right? Um, Before I get into that, like producers that are consistently putting out instrumentals of their own and really trying to create a platform for themselves, you know what I mean, by releasing instrumentals and not necessarily like pushing for placements and things like that, and really letting their art speak for themselves, despite not being a vocalist, I think are some of the best things to do as a producer. So the fact that Die Guy is even putting out instrumentals with a full-fledged theme behind it is like a very much A plus thing. It's super, super important to do that as a producer. So I love to see that Die Guy is doing that. So, with that said, clocking in at 4:15, kind of a longer track, especially when you want to consider it being an instrumental. Sometimes in particular instrumental tracks are um longer, but the thing that's positive is every ounce of the 4 minutes is totally utilized. Um, it's not staying the same. It's always progressing. It's very much a track that's getting active. Like it's very much consistently, um, just always changing. Doesn't get too repetitive. It's very much a story in itself, and I think that's a big thing if you're gonna go for like longer sounding tracks, right? And sometimes you don't even really mean to. It's just sometimes how the track lays out when you're making it. And then you're like, oh shit, this is like 4 minutes. You know what I mean? But with that said, I do feel like, if you're gonna have a longer track, that's definitely one of the ways to do it, is to have a track that's like very much always progressing and non-repetitive, which we have here for sure. So, um, Shining Star has got to be sound selection here. Like some of the drum selection and just the overall um sound structure of everything, like down to the melodies, is just like really like the core of this. I feel like the sound selection was very well done. Um just to keep it all very consistent. It sounds very cohesive and it sounds very much like dreamlike, like I said. Futuristic, dreamlike, almost um like just like teetering on like alternative cloud kind of style. Because the drums still have some bounce to them, but the melody and like the sounds chosen take you to like a whole nother universe. So I feel like there's a great kind of dynamic going on in this track, 100%, and it really puts Die Guy in like their own sort of um lane when it comes to producing instrumentals of your own. So I love that track for this. You know what I mean? I just love that. So let's talk a little bit about the theme here. Now, self mutilation as the title, that's something that's like, producers have the luxury of naming some of their self released instrumentals, and sometimes it's more of like a personal title, or sometimes it's like more of like a different play on words or things like that. But self mutilation is definitely one of those kind of personal titles that producers just kind of choose, and you're like, yeah, not like this. This is it, and that's what it sounds like to me. And then going even deeper than that, aesthetically, the cover is very interesting to me as well. Sort of on the abstract kind of style, but very rememberable. Especially if you enjoy the song, it's one of those covers that like is absolutely rememberable for sure. Um but yeah, all in all, the theme of self mutilation tied to what the track actually sounds like is kind of interesting. Um, that's the great thing about that too, is whether you're a vocalist or a producer or any kind of artist really, sometimes you just have these personal kind of insiders or like reasons why you name things the way you name them or do things the way you do them. It's just purely based on your own, and that's what makes your art. You know what I mean? So that's why I love that. But with that said, huge shout out to that guy. Thank you so much for the submission, homie. Much motherfucking love. Make sure you follow that guy on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow that guy on Twitter. That guy is 6 followers away from 60. That's a great milestone. Go show that guy some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 90 motherfucking subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, music tips and tricks, exclusive tracks, a whole lot of good stuff's on the channel, man. So go show the channel and these artists some love. And if you have been showing the channel some love, thank you, man. I see you. I see you guys dropping likes, dropping comments. I see you. Thank you. Music Mondays appreciates you. So, up next, we get the homie, Troy Van Dusen. And Troy has been absolutely killing it with the submissions lately. Just really bringing like a whole different type of fucking like experimental alternative sound. And yet somehow keeping things very modernized as well. Like we've heard a couple different styles from Troy, so don't know really what to expect this week. And they submitted a track titled "I Love Amanda Abbott." This is a very interesting track title for sure. So the first one is "I Love Amanda Abbott" and the second one is "I Love Amanda Abbott Forever." Came out in 2019, 2 songs. Okay, so since we have a short EP here, we'll obviously only play the first track. I don't know what to expect. Let's check this out. Troy Van Dusen, "I Love Amanda Abbott." drops are so much like you can get behind them easily, you know what I mean? And it makes you move and bop your head. So like it's definitely super easy to get behind this, and this could easily have any sort of like smaller to like mid-sized like house party or club fucking bumping. For sure. Like this could be some random shit that you play like later on in the night. It would go crazy. 100%. So instrumentally this is great. Very much teetering on a couple different genre inspirations to bring out some real original shit, to be honest with you. Definitely a modern take on some like alternative pop. So let's talk about the theme here. Aesthetically, the cover art sort of straight up, right? I mean, Troy Van Dusen, I Love Amanda Abbott, you know, very much a simplistic kind of cover, which definitely, if this was a project where you were like, yo, I fucking love this, you're totally gonna remember that cover for sure. Like, it's just gonna be one of those covers you remember if you've never heard this and it strikes you a certain way. Now, the overall theme, I like sort of at the jump, I didn't know what I was expecting. I don't know if I was expecting some acoustic guitars, maybe some alternative rock guitars. I wasn't expecting as of an upbeat kind of track for an EP titled I Love Amanda Abbott. That was the one thing that kind of threw me off. But I do feel like one explanation for that could be like as like a gift or like a tribute to somebody or like a fucking, you know, like sort of like that aspect of it rather than like an EP about somebody. You know what I mean? So more so like an EP for somebody. You know, that could be a big inspiration behind the theme there as well. But other than that, I do feel like it's a very upbeat kind of vibe going on here for sure. And Troy is really a multi-genre kind of producer. We've seen Troy really kill it at a couple of different genres. So this is just another one to add to the list. 100%. So huge shout out to Troy Van Dusen. Thank you so much for the submission, homie. Much motherfucking love. Make sure you follow Troy on Spotify at Troy Van Dusen. And of course, make sure you follow Troy on Twitter at Troy Van Dusen. Troy is 4 away from 910 followers. Go show Troy some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We upload 2 times a week. Exclusive segments, full podcast episodes, exclusive tracks, a whole lot of good stuff's going down on the channel, man. So go show the channel some love if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you. We see you. Thank you so much for all the love on our uploads. So, continuing on, I believe this is our last audio submission for the night, folks. So, yeah, I believe so. So let's check this out. Acid Vat is a first-time submitting artist. I believe we recently just featured Acid Vat on SoundCloud Sunday, volume 63, so make sure you go check that out as well. But for the Music Mondays podcast, we have never featured Acid Vat here on the show. So I'm definitely excited to get into this. Always a pleasure with a first-time submitting artist. So, let's check this out. I love this cover. This is like a classical kind of cover. It's like more retro modern. 10 out of 10 from me. I love this cover for sure. 13 days ago, some tracks that tied you over the holidays in anticipation for the upcoming album. Alright, bet. Let's get into it. First time submitting artist, Acid Vat, Sewer Wine. That was fucking very unique. Very, very unique, especially for a first time submitting artist. I love the originality there. I really do. So let's break this one down. Obviously, no vocals, so we're gonna talk about two things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Sewer Wine. So, mix right off rip, excellent, especially for um how prevalent the synth is in this track. I feel like the mix is very, very tight. A very well-rounded mix for sure. Clocking in at 245, I feel like this is the perfect length, especially for a track like this. To really like get a new listener to understand the kind of style that you're going for. Um, it reminds me so much of like an 8-bit kind of style, with some like electronic inspiration. I do feel like this is like a very, very unique style. And I love it for that. You know what I mean? I really, really love it for that. Um, Shining star for me though, got to be the structure. Drum selection's really, really great, but all in all, I love the way that this track progresses as an instrumental. It's very listenable for new listeners and obviously returning listeners as well. They know what to expect, and I just love the structure of this for sure. Um, yeah, just very unique, especially for a first time submitting artist. I really enjoy the 8-bit style for sure. Very classical yet a more modern take for sure. So let's talk about the theme here. Aesthetically, this cover is just fucking nailing it for me. And then on top of it being like sort of an 8-bit kind of retro style with a retro cover, it just fucking knocked it out of the park for me. And then the acid vat in the middle is just perfect. I love the color palette. I love how it's edited. This is a 10 out of 10 cover. Just super aesthetic. Super, super fucking aesthetic. And it just has that classical style, which I'm probably biased towards anyway, but I do feel like it fits the track regardless. So it's well done. So let's talk about the overall theme here. Sewer Wine as a title doesn't give us much, so it's definitely one of those titles that a producer just really picks for themselves, and really like almost like what the track feels like, right? And you do get a slight sense of like griminess, and but almost in like a retro kind of 2D way. And I feel like Acid Vat really is onto something here when it comes to having like a 2D production style, but also mixing sort of like lo-fi, like classical hip hop drums, and really like having like a progression. So I think Acid Vat's definitely onto something. Definitely. So huge shout out to Acid Vat. Thank you so much for the submission, homie. Much, much motherfucking love. Make sure you follow Acid Vat on SoundCloud. Acid Vat is 5 away from 10. Go show Acid Vat some love on SoundCloud, man. And of course, make sure you follow Acid Vat on Twitter. Acid Vat is 4 away from 260. Go show Acid some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We are approaching 90 subscribers. So go show the channel some love, man. Push us to 90. And if you've been showing the channel some love, thank you. I see you dropping likes. I see you dropping comments. Thank you. We appreciate it here at Music Mondays. So, last but not least, always a great way to end the show, and our media submission of the night, Offspring Mysterious. So, Offspring has been just fucking killing it. Literally all of 2022 absolutely destroyed it. From visual edits, writing, covers, instrumentals, SoundCloud, Offspring absolutely, absolutely killed it, without a doubt. And one thing that you can always take from Offspring, whether you're a first-time viewer of the Music Mondays podcast or you're just somebody who is newer to the community or looking for some inspiration, I think you can get a lot from Offspring. So, they submitted a edit titled Walking Entertainment and Happy New Year's in the caption. Happy New Year's, Offspring. So, we're going to pop this open in a new Aberrooney. And let's check this out. So we'll go full screen, of course. Crank up our quality. And let's check this out. Offspring Mysterious, Walking Entertainment. Wait, Offspring's bumping Offspring at like fucking Best Buy. Holy shit. This is gold. That is actually gold. We got Offspring in the chat. Alright guys, we're going Walmart. Y'all want anything? Let's fucking get it, Offspring. Hope you're well, baby. Look at all the classics. Look at the man grinding. No bullshit. That's me every time every time I'm about to do the show. I'm getting jiggy with it. All this done in one day? Next day, toes hurting, legs sore as fuck. Look at this angle. This angle is actually goated. Had to get that shot. Didn't even question it. Didn't even question it. I love it. I love the impromptu. It's like straight up in public, like it makes for a better natural shot. Uh-huh. Oh shit. Dude, nah, that was good. That was good. That was really good. The editing on there was superb. Nah, literally Offspring. I think that's what makes this so good. Is that it's very natural. just jams out of there. The editing on this is prime. Look at that keyboard. Yup, uh-huh. He outside City Hall with it. He outside City Hall with it. Let's go. Let's go. No cap, I didn't know I killed that. Nah, literally. It came out bad good. This motherfucker's jamming all over town, bro. Oh, that transition was nice. Yeah. Yeah. Package spot. He's like, what the fuck? Motherfucker comes jamming in. What's up? Later. What the fuck? Nah, this is comedy. That is actually fucking comedy. Later. Oh shit. Going forward must suck. That must be so hard. That looks like a prime skate spot. Huh. No fucking way. Holy shit. Hmm. Legendary spot. Got the bag. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Clouded in the city. Clouded in the city. Straight clouded, bro. That's fire. What? I told you about this TV shit, bro. I told you. Like, I knew it, man. Wow, bro. Got motherfuckers walking around the city like, yeah, I took pictures with him last year. The fuck? That's the perfect fucking, like, wow. Everybody has their thing, man. Well done, bro. Well fucking done. That's like, look, we're starting off the year fucking hot, if that's what we're getting. We're starting off the year fucking hot, if that's what we're getting, man. That is awesome. That definitely put a smile on my face, man. Like, this video is a testament as to, like, why you need to be doing shit like this. Like, and like, I said this to Offspring since day fucking one. Like, whether it's your writing, you're basing it around, your covers, your aesthetics, your music, doesn't matter. If you're doing shit like this where you find it pleasurable and you're enjoying yourself filming content like this, and you can, like, put yourself out there and mix all the content, it can really make or break you. Like, and this is, like, truly, like, what's separating Offspring. Because, like, if Offspring didn't have any of the, like, personal kind of designs and aesthetics, like, it just wouldn't be intriguing, because you just have so much content. And, like, I suppose you could say that about, like, anybody, but because it's so much, like, in the public, it's so much, like, out of the ordinary, it works so well. And especially coming from that sort of, like, fantasy, like, alternative kind of sound, like, all of this works so well for Offspring. Like, it just works. And that's why, like, everybody's come up is completely different as an underground artist and a creative. Like, everybody's come up is different. That's why there's no, like, one size fits all kind of template for anybody. Everybody's different. And this is exactly how Offspring is going to, like, get their own lane and really separate themselves. That's why I always encouraged it. Always encouraged transferring over to TikTok. Always encouraged just short form content along with your long form content. Like, this is how you do it. And much like Offspring said in the chat earlier, all this done in one day. You know what I mean? So if you really gave a fuck about your shit, you'll make sure you'll get, like, some fire ass content done. And all it really has to, like, be is, like, backed up by a good idea. And there's your motivation. You know? Because you're like, yo, I want to go do this. That'd be fun as fuck. Or that'd be hilarious. And then you spend, what, 8 hours filming fucking 30 to 40 clips, you know what I mean? Or, you know, however many hours of footage. And then you're grabbing whatever out of it. And then you're already creating and writing and designing anyways, you know what I mean? So when you go out and film sort of different edits and skits and montages and different kinds of, like, media, this is what can come of it, you know what I mean? Like, Offspring is truly doing a really good job at building, like, a true brand, you know what I mean? Like, a brand for themselves that, like, they can identify with. Totally original, totally unique, and I love it. I like, this is, like, what the underground is all about, and, like, this is, like, what I love to encourage, you know what I mean? I love when I see people do it. So huge shout out to fucking Offspring, man. Huge shout out to Offspring. Thank you so much for the submission, homie. Much motherfucking love. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Offspring on YouTube. They are 2 away from the big hundo. Go show Offspring some love. Because I can imagine 2023 is going to be very, very excellent for Offspring Mysterious, my friends. So, with that said, that does it for reactions and reviews from episode 102. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted tonight, showed love. Huge shout out to Re-Rock, Offspring, Anusha, Matt Rocks, Blank Thought, Ivica, Black and White Motion Picture, TDG, Mac, Die Guy, Troy, Acidat. Huge shout out to all you guys, and huge shout out to anybody that came through, showed love tonight on the show, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Shout out to Ivica, Offspring, Bromo, anybody else that lurked and chilled, that just hung out. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're very welcome, Offspring. Thank you for your submission, my friend. So, what's coming up for Music Mondays now that it's 2023? Well, let's have a little chit chat. We'll talk about what's coming up next. January is going to be a big refresher for Music Mondays. Expect a revamp for all of our socials, some new logos here or there. Nothing's changing as far as how we do things. Everything will stay the same, but we're just going to refresh a few things. Expect a couple of staff members to be announced. Expect content to double up, so make sure you're just following us on all socials. Make sure you follow us at All Music Mondays. Make sure you check out our homepage at allmusicmondays.com. We've been going fucking crazy on just our YouTube and our homepage alone. So definitely go check those out, man. Huge shout out to the Music Mondays staff that's been killing it lately. Huge shout out to Ivica, Michael, Lavender, Raven, Ray, and everybody else in the Music Mondays staff. Aster, so many. We have such a big roster now. Such a big roster. So huge shout out to the staff, man. 2023 is going to be fucking crazy. Just know that. Like I said, we're going to be working on some revamps. Expect a lot of stream upgrades as well. New stream layout, face cam added. A whole lot of stuff is going to be coming this first month in January. And then February and March is where we're going to have a couple of other things coming at you that are much bigger. Cough, cough, Cyberfest 2. Cough, cough. And a lot of other stuff throughout 2023. So, with that said, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you want to see, tell us who you enjoyed on the Music Mondays podcast. Make sure you follow us on all socials at All Music Mondays. You can check out our homepage at allmusicmondays.com. It's been your host, Sam Slays, man. So, the grind begins for 2023. I'll see you guys next week for episode 103 already, man. 103, god damn it. Holy shit. 103. We'll be live next Monday for episode 103 of the Music Mondays podcast. Tomorrow, submissions are open, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure you follow us at All Music Mondays. And you can stream us on all audio platforms at anchor.fm. The link is in description. Or, again, make sure you check out the Music Mondays homepage. It's been your boy Zom Slays. We'll see you next week for episode 103.